Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on this DirectConnect. This is the first one in 2026, and we're really excited to get these started. As you know, if you're a regular viewer of our little session here, that this is kind of a free form, and we just have a good time talking about particular topics. And today we're going to tackle kind of a crystal ball into 2026. What do we expect is going to happen, in our industry and critical infrastructure relevant to cybersecurity, operational resilience, and such. And I think we all have some good ideas. And today I am so happy to have a few of my elite partners in crime here. So I got Steve Parker, and one of the managing partners of Archer, Brian Pauling, also a managing partner of Archer, and we got John Fallon on his very first DirectConnect with us as our account manager, and we're excited to have you here, John. Thank you for coming. So I'm just going to do kind of a quick roundtable, and then we can get into it. I'm going to start with you, Steve. Looking into 2026, what are the few, 1, 2, 3 type of issues that you think are going to be challenges for, the critical infrastructure going into there, from cybersecurity or resilience? Whatever you think is going on there.
That's a great question. I apologize. I tend to revert back to the regulatory world and NERC CIP, and we actually have some things that we know are coming this year with the new version of CIP 3 going in place in April, and a new version of CIP 12 coming out in July. There's also some things on the docket that FERC is reviewing that are likely to get some rulings coming up in the first quarter, first half of the year. So that's out there. Beyond the obvious, the regulatory side of things, the easy answer is AI, because everybody's talking about it, right? Nobody ever got fired for talking about AI in 2026. And is it overhyped? Is it underhyped? Probably a little bit of both. But there's been some real world applications of AI in the security world that I think are starting to come to light more and more and more. Some of the deepfakes and how those can be used in the social engineering realm of things, automation of attacks and scanning against targets, attack planning, attack execution. So that's probably an area we'll see more of this year. I'll shut up now and I'll let somebody else give their perspectives. Probably Brian, I'll shoot over to you.
Well, first of all, Steve, you talked about AI, so I don't know. I think I got to fire you. You're fired.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for your service. All right, just kidding. Go ahead, Brian. What do you think are the first couple, big hits that are going to come in 2026?
Well, I think similar to Steve, I'm going to first go back, kind of speak to the regulatory side of the house, because in November, December timeframe, NERC posted its 2026 ERO Enterprise Compliance Monitoring Enforcement Program Implementation Plan. I know that's a mouthful, but in that plan, they said that the 6 risk elements that they're going to focus on in 2026 are remote connectivity, supply chain, physical security, facility ratings, extreme weather response, and grid transformation. And so in those areas, you could dive really deep into each of those. Steve kind of talked about some of the cybersecurity related, and even with the deepfake videos and things like that with AI on driving some physical security concerns as well. We've got facility ratings with FERC 881 ramping up more and more. And so we've got, not just the seasonal ratings happening, but the ambient adjusted ratings going on for utilities. On the extreme weather side of the house, and note that they didn't say extreme cold weather. They said extreme weather response. And so I think that's going to, include things like wildfires and extreme heat, extreme other natural disasters, whether it's flooding and from rains or droughts, and things like that, in addition to the extreme cold weather concerns. And then finally, in this grid transformation package, they kind of bundle a lot in there, from energy policy to the new large load stuff that's coming from data centers and the like. Increasing levels of IBRs happening, and then resource adequacy is also kind of thrown in there as well. So I think there's a lot coming down the pipe in 2026.
There sure is. There's a lot, and you mentioned something there about that extreme weather, and I keep on thinking about when we first started extreme weather, it was really focused on the ice that happened in Texas that just froze those windmills and the windmills. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? Yeah, I got my brain is on some food maybe or something else, but anyway, it really set the stage for weather plays such a huge factor into how we move energy, and it's just not in the electric sector. This happens to other organizations in critical infrastructure, especially in the oil and gas fat sector. So all you other sectors in the critical infrastructure, always watch the electric sector because we're a step ahead of you on the regulations. So that's a big play there. So John, what do you think from your perspective? You kind of come with a unique experiences and such. So love to hear what you think.
So, when you guys brought up AI, so let's go down that path because I think, there's so many companies that are hiring new people. The AI phishing techniques are getting more and more and more advanced. They're going to go and target those new people because those new people don't know any better. So they are even more vulnerable. They need to make sure that those cybersecurity trainings are up to date. I think that we're going to see more attacks via phishing techniques or through the use of these third-party tools. Some AI tool that they go and install, they may be using it at home and they're like, oh, this makes my life so much easier. And hey, this could help me at work. So I think that there's going to have to be rules set in the electric utility industry where what AI tools are acceptable to be used. I think that's one of the important things. And then enhanced training, on potential phishing techniques. I've seen it where they not only send you one, if you don't open it or you don't respond, they're going to send you a follow-up. And it's like, whoa, wait, you're going to send me follow-ups now? Everything's getting automated. Their lift is getting lighter and lighter. And they're going to be able to get in. It's just a matter of time. And then what impact is going to happen at that organization? How much do you have everything locked down? What are your security measures? I think that's one of the big areas that we may not be focusing on because it's not regulatory based per se, but I think that's an area that we're going to see some people talking about this year.
To add on to that, part of that AI component is that things are beginning to look, really original documentation. And so it's not just a bank statement that has, the logo of the bank that looks kind of fuzzy, and letter kind of typed out and spaces look funny, but they literally are able to now take images of documentation to make things look as if they are just the real deal. And so I think that's another component of the lessons that we're in training that's going to have to take place is determining how to identify these fake documents or phishing documents. In fact, for me, just at the end of 2025, I was sitting on a board where a email came into the organization and they said board member Brian Pauling in this position has had these services performed, and because they knew my position with the board and all of these other things, they had an invoice that looked real. It was sent through, and luckily they stopped it before the payment went out the door to the phishing organization, but it's happening.
I think that AI is going to take a new turn in 2026. We talk about email and documentation. I think the ability to generate an AI bot that is using voice that can interpret the questions and such that you might be talking to a phishing exercise where you got a voicemail that sounded like your boss, exactly like your boss, and you answer that and you call back this number and you think you're talking to your boss, but you're talking to an AI bot. I think that's going to be real, and I think we're so close to that being in video as well.
It absolutely is happening in videos, Stacy.
Yep. Yep.
I've seen the videos where you can't tell that, especially with remote workers now, and more and more remote work. Being able to verify who you're actually talking to, even in whether it's a FaceTime or other type of video call, you name the platform, it's going to be more and more difficult to figure out, who you're actually speaking with.
Yep. I think it's really going to change how we manage remote work as well. Ultimately, I think it's going to force us all to get back together and I can actually touch this person. So, well, don't touch them. Don't do that. That's the HR to do. But you know what I mean.
Call HR.
So, exactly.
Hey, one thing, and this is such a minor step that could help minimize it. If you are getting those messages through email or text message, all you have to do is make sure that you go through an approved channel. If it's an approved messaging channel such as Teams or Slack or whatever, where you already have that individual, you could go with that confirmation through that. And you'll see a lot of, hey, I'm in a meeting, I can't talk, but I could text or I could email. Okay, great, no problem. Well, guess what? On their phone, what they have is that messaging app. So they could easily go and message through there to do that confirmation. And just that, it's like that 3-part communication. Hey, okay, no problem, I can help you, but send me a message over Teams to confirm.
Yep.
And then it's getting that almost like a multi-factor authentication right through that method. So that's just a small step, if you're ever concerned, you could go and take.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got a couple things that I think 2026 is going to be. I think 2026 is the year of the IBR. And not only because there's regulations from NERC coming out there where you have to register as a GOP, or GO1 and GO2, right? So that registration for those low-level IBRs is huge, but it's going to be the year for them because that is an amazingly difficult thing for a lot of these organizations to take, and in particular because they're looking at this as a business model where aggregation is going to pay a lot of money. There is a lot of money to be had in the IBR world, but by aggregating, they're coming in scope for some fairly large compliance obligations. And so I think it's the year of the IBR for sure. Or maybe it's just the year of the horse. Who knows? We'll see. But I think that's big. The other thing that I think is really going to happen in 2026 is that we're going to be surprised. It almost, maybe it's just something I feel in my bones, but how long ago has it been that there has been a significant impact? We had the Colonial phishing ransomware issue that happened. That was pretty big. We had SolarWinds that happened. It's been 2003 is when we had the big blackout. What's going to happen? I just don't feel like we've had that big thing. And I think that's tied to all the political strife that's going around the world. We have a significant amount of domestic issues here in North America, U.S., but it's abroad too. We see, Iran, we see all this. I think that alone is just it's gonna force something to happen, and I don't know what it's gonna be, but I think the second half of the year, and I'll take bets on it. There might be a lot of money on that bet, but I think it's going to happen, and we're going to be surprised, and it's going to change how we look at almost everything that we do. And I think it's gonna force some new regulations that other sectors that in critical infrastructure are just kind of sitting on it right now. That's gonna elevate them. So if I were in oil and gas and water, they already have those regulations sitting there ready to go to be mandated. So be prepared. If you're in another sector that doesn't have mandatory cybersecurity or resilience type of requirements that are mandated, regulated, and audited, I think they're going to start coming your way by the end of this year.
Yeah, the political issues that we're having, around the world, really, I think again will drive a new level of diligence that's required, both from cybersecurity, physical security, from, as you said, more regulation, particularly in industries that haven't had as much compliance, resilience type of regulation. I just, to your point, I think we're going to see a lot of that across the board.
Certainly are. Well, we're coming up on time here. I really appreciate those insights from you guys, but I'm going to do one last roundtable. If you had to, if you're sitting in a boardroom at any critical infrastructure type of organization, you had to let them know what their biggest risk is. What would it be? And I'll start with you, Steve.
This may be a little bit of a cop out, but I think the biggest risk is the unknown. And you hinted at it, Stacy. We feel like there's something coming, but we just don't know. There's a lot of geopolitical risk in the world. We don't know what moves the U.S. might be making as a country. Iran is apparently in a bit of turmoil right now. We don't know what's going to come out of that. We don't know what's up with China and when they may potentially make some moves. You have Russia, Ukraine simmering behind the scenes. So there's a lot of potential flashpoints, a lot of unknowns. I think the unknown, the things that we cannot predict, the black swan event, so to speak, that's probably the biggest risk that we have right now.
Brian, what do you think?
Well, I think the biggest risk is going to be the speed in which change happens, and if you are, if you turn as fast as a Titanic, as an organization, I think you're going to find that you're going to have problems. You need to have an ability to bob and weave, whatever, change direction, and do it swiftly. I think that's going to be, and whether that's because of IBRs, whether it's because of data centers, whether it's because of new regulation or geopolitical issues or cybersecurity or physical security, whatever the issue that comes up, your organization is going to need a process by which to manage these emergency type issues and do it swiftly and efficient and effectively.
Absolutely. Don, what would you tell a board member?
So, as Steve said, it's really the unknown. So I would say I would go to, my CIP manager or my cybersecurity manager, and I'd ask them, what has you not sleeping at night? What are your major concerns? What are you not 100% confident with? And that's what I would focus on. I would focus my energy and time on making sure that they're more comfortable with the current state. Maybe it's they haven't tested backups in a while. Okay, great. We're going to go and do that. Now what else keeps you up at night? Those little things, because you really need to make sure that the program that you have in place, regardless if it's regulated or not, you could stand behind, that you are able to go and recover, because it's the unknown. What am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to do to make sure that my plant's online and generating revenue? What could I do? What steps could I take to ensure that? And that's what I would concentrate on, those low-hanging fruits that you could just go and do, and it adds up over time.
Absolutely. Well, I would tell, and I'm going to just end this for all of us here. In 2026, I would be sitting in front of a board member or a team of board members, and I would tell them that they need to not wait to be told to do good cybersecurity, good physical security, good resilience. I would tell them that now is the time to fund your teams and look at your staffing levels. Do not pretend because I have a firewall, I have an IDS, I have a network that was resegmented, that is enough. You need people. The human factor is absolutely essential, and you are likely understaffed in your ability to maintain a good security or a resilience front. That would be my message. And with that, I'm going to let us go because we're way past time. Try to keep these around 15 minutes. So I thank you all, John, Brian, Steve, for helping with this conversation. And for those that will watch this, thank you for sticking with us. And we'll see you next time on the next Direct Connect.
Your support drives us forward. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications, ensuring you never miss out on valuable insights. When it comes to safeguarding your business, Archer is your trusted partner. Explore our robust solutions at archerint.com. Get in touch with an email or phone call and fortify your company's defenses. We value your input. Share your thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like us to cover, and tune in every other Wednesday for a brand new episode of Direct Connect.